Good morning to all handball fans watching us live. Welcome to Vienna and welcome to the European Handball Federation's office. We are just about to start a combined draw event for the Women's Challenge Cup Plus 16 and the Women's EHF Cup Group Phase draw. Also special welcome to all club representatives who are here not only to witness these two draws, but some of them also to contribute to the drawing of the lots. We are starting with the Women's Challenge Cup Plus 16. All but one team had to qualify through the round 3 matches. Just Rocasa Gran Canaria from Spain have been directly seeded to the last 16 phase, as they were the last season's runners-up, and they are also the 2016 winners. Rocasa lost to MKS Perla Lublin last season in the final, but the Polish club didn't register for this competition this year, but they played the EHF Cup and the Champions League qualification instead. As you can see in the graphic, Rocasa are placed in pot 1 together with 7 more teams, while another 8 teams are in pot 2. The procedure will be very simple. For every pairing, we take 1 ball from each pot, and the first team drawn from the bowl will play the first leg at home, while the other team will host the second leg. The first leg is scheduled for 2nd and 3rd February, and the second leg follow 1 week later. Now we are also ready to introduce the people who will conduct the draw today. I would like to invite to the podium Markus Glaser, the EHF Chief Sports Officer, together with 2 club representatives, Božica Palčić from Podravka Vegeta and Oyane Sarachage from Super Amara Bera Bera. Please take the position at the podium. It's interesting that these 2 ladies will draw opponents for their domestic rivals. Božica will draw an opponent probably for Koka from Varaždin, and Oyane will draw an opponent for Rocasa. So let's see what kind of phone calls you will be getting after the draw. But we are now ready for the first ball, and we can start. Okay, you take one in the middle. Yeah. Very good. Now you take one. No. From here. So we start, first team, first pairing, Maccabi Shrugo Rishon LeZion from Israel. And their opponent is from Sweden, Boden Handball. Please, one in the middle. From Portugal, Alavarium Lifetiles. Alavarium has the home right in the first leg, and they will play the team from Szczecin from Poland. Handball Club Gomel from Belarus. They will meet Ženski Rukometni Klub Koka from Croatia.
Rincon Fertilidad from Malaga in the south of Spain. And they will have to fight versus the team from Istogu from Kosovo. Geonius V&L from the Netherlands. They will meet their fellow compatriots from Quintus from the Netherlands. Ženski rukometni klub from Pelister in Fyro, Macedonia. Their opponent is not too far away, Naisha from Niš in the south of Serbia. Rocasa Gran Canaria from Spain. They will meet Ankara Yeni Mahalle from Turkey. I'm not allowed to touch them. And the very last pairing for this last 16 of the Challenge Cup starts with Femina Wiese from Belgium. And the only remaining opponent is Kristianstad Handball from Sweden.
Many thanks to both ladies and to Markus. You've done a great job. You can take your seats again.
Thank you.
Let's summarize the last 16 draw together. Maccabi Strugo Rishon LeZion meet Boden Handball from Sweden, and let's see whether Maccabi's top scorer of the competition so far, Jacqueline Anastasio, will be in the same shooting form as she scored 28 goals in two round 3 matches. Alavarium from Portugal face Pogoń Szczecin from Poland. Gomel from Belarus take on Koka from Croatia. Rincon from Malaga, Spain, face Istogu from Kosovo. Then there is the Dutch derby between Geonius and Quintus. And the former Yugoslavian derby, Pelister from Macedonia against Niš from Serbia. The second Spanish team, Rocasa Gran Canaria, the last season's runners-up, meet Ankara Yeni Mahalle from Turkey. And the Belgian team, Femina Wiese, take on the Swedish team, Kristianstad Handball. Before we move to the second draw of today, the Women's EHF Cup group phase draw, let us have a closer look at this competition so far. Before the 2016 and 17 season, this competition has reformed after the old EHF Cup has merged together with the Cup Winners' Cup. For the first time, the group phase with 16 teams has been introduced, and this was followed by the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final of 2 legs. This playing system is also valid for this season. There were already 84 games in 3 qualification rounds and over 4,000 goals scored on the way to the group phase. So let us watch some of them in a short video now. So that was a little nice selection from the qualification games, and we are convinced that we are going to see even more brilliant action in the group phase. Not only because we have several clubs returning to this stage after last season or the season before. We also have 3 national champions on the starting grid, and also the defending champions of this competition, SCM Craiova. These 16 teams together combined for no fewer than 18 European Cup trophies. Now we are going to divide these 16 teams into 4 groups of 4. As you can see on the screen, we have 4 countries with more than 1 club represented: Norway, Germany and Romania with 2 teams, and Denmark with even 4. In order to avoid that these teams meet their domestic rivals in the group, we are going to apply the country protection rule, which on one hand will be more effort for us during the draw now, but on the other hand will bring the flair of international competition in every single game of the group phase, and it's certainly worth it. We are starting the draw with the 4 teams in pot 1, and these are all teams who finished on the 4th position in the EHF Champions League group matches and thus were eliminated. However, their European campaign will continue in the EHF Cup, where they should stand for some of the hottest contenders for the EHF Cup trophy. They will also try to follow the suit of Rostov-Don, who dominated in this competition in its first season 2 years ago after being knocked out from the Champions League. Also this time around we are getting a quality pedigree from the European top flight. The Croatian champions and former Champions League winners Podravka Vegeta, then SGBBM Bietigheim, who reached the final in the maiden season of the EHF Cup 2 years ago, then the 2011 Champions League trophy holders Larvik, and last but not least, the reigning Swedish champions IK Sävehof. After a short presentation of pot 1 teams, I would also like to present the persons who will conduct this draw together with our Chief Sports Officer Markus Glaser. He will get some welcome help from 2 club representatives, and it's Thomas Hülle from Team Esbjerg, who is also the EHF Competitions Commission member, and Petri Sor-Albu from the defending champions SCM Craiova. Please, gentlemen, take your position at the podium. So we know the teams and we know the people who will be drawing, which means that we can start with the first ball.
Okay, start with the team. And the first team from pot 1, Larvik from Norway. We'll now define the position of Larvik, the group of Larvik, please. Group C. So the Larvik goes to position 1 in group C. IK Sävehof from Sweden. Sävehof takes position 1 in group B. Handball Club Podravka Vegeta from Koprivnica in Croatia. They will go on top of group D. SG BBM Bietigheim from Germany. Go to the remaining open position in row number 1, which is group A.
Okay, this was easy and simple, but now it's getting hotter for both gentlemen at the podium, because in pot 2 you can see both the defending champions and the first Danish team, together with 2 other very interesting teams. Besançon from France eliminated the reigning Challenge Cup winners Perla Lublin in the previous qualification round, while the new ambitious club from Hungary, Siófok, surprisingly ousted one of the most decorated teams in European club competitions, Lada from Togliatti. This sport is also straightforward, and we can start with the first ball.
The first team from pot number 2, Team Esbjerg from Denmark. And their group is group A. The defending champion from Craiova in Romania. Now. They will go to group D. Group D for Craiova. Besançon féminin from France. They will take position number 2 in Group C. Last but not least, in row 2, Siófok from Hungary. They will occupy the remaining empty position in Group B.
So we just filled the row 2 position from the teams from pot 2. We are halfway through, and now the real fun begins. As we can see, in the pot 2 we have another team from Denmark, Viborg. Then we have another team from Norway, Storhamar, and the German team, Metzingen, and they are alongside the Spanish champions, Vera Vera. Therefore, we have to apply the country protection rule here. In order to avoid a direct allocation of teams and to make the draw as interesting as possible, we started with the Viborg team, who are placed in the red ball, as you can see over there. Let's check whether that's true. Okay, now we quickly prepare 3 balls. That's Viborg.
Viborg from Denmark.
And we quickly prepare 3 balls with only possible groups for Viborg. As Esbjerg are in Group A, Viborg can only go to Groups B, C, or D. Viborg are one of the most successful household names in the European club competition history, as they won the Champions League 3 times, as many times the old EHF Cup, and also the Cup Winners' Cup once. So let's see who they are going to face.
So the group for Viborg is Group C.
Okay, now we carry on with other teams in a similar way and can open another ball.
The team of Super Amara Bera Bera from Spain.
Super Amara Bera Bera came to the group phase from the Champions League qualification, as they did not succeed in a group at Lublin and finished 3rd. But in the 3rd qualification round in the EHF Cup, they eliminated Dunaújváros from Hungary. Now we prepare possible groups for Bera Bera.
It is Group D for Bera Bera. Row 3, Group D for Bera Bera.
Now there is the situation that if we really want to apply this country protection rule, we can't draw, because it could happen that either German or Norwegian team will end up in a group with another German or Norwegian team. Therefore, we are going to allocate the teams. We open the first ball and allocate to the respective group.
Tussis from Metzingen in Germany.
So Metzingen can't go to Group A, therefore they have to go to Group B together with Sevehof and Schiofok. And now the last ball.
And of course, it's the team from Storhamar Handball from Norway.
This team couldn't go to Group B, therefore we had to allocate them to Group A together with Team Esbjerg and Bietigheim. So we got this tricky part over. We can carry on with pot 4 now. And we have 2 more Danish teams there. The second Romanian team and the only Russian representative this season. We start with the 2 Danish teams, which have only 2 options now, as they have to avoid groups with Esbjerg and Viborg. Herning IKAST Handball are a new name of a very traditional club, which until last season we all knew under the name of FC Midtjylland and before that as IKAST Boarding. They do not only have the Final Four participation under their belt, but also 4 European Cup titles, 2 from the old EHF Cup and 2 from the Cup Winners' Cup. The other Danish team, Nykøbing Falster Handball, are rather new name in the European Cups, and their brightest memories come from the first edition of the new EHF Cup 2 years ago when they reached the semi-final. Last year, they played in the Champions League main round. So now we are going to determine opponents for these 2 teams, and they can go to Group A, where is Esbjerg, and to Group C, where is already Viborg.
This is the team. So the first of the 2 Danish team is Nykøbing Falster Handball. And now we will see to which of the 2 possible groups Nykøbing is going. They are going to Group D. The second of the Danish teams in row number 4 is Herning IKAST Handball. And the only group where they can go, of course, position number 4 in Group B.
Yes, this makes the whole situation slightly easier for us now because the group with Craiova has been taken by Nykøbing, and therefore Magura and Kuban can be freely drawn from the pot. Magura, Cisnadie are a brand new club in the European competitions, and they sprang a huge surprise in the qualification after having ousted the traditional Russian club Zvezda Zvenigorod. Kuban from Russia, they survived the home defeat against Mekalia Atletico Gardes in the first leg of the third qualification round and made their way to the group phase courtesy of a narrow away win in Spain. So now we can learn the names of their opponents.
First the team again. It is Kuban from Krasnodar in Russia. They go to position number 4 in group C. And then to finish, the newcomer is left for the very last drawing, the club of Magura Cisnadie from Romania. They take position number 4 in group A.
Great. So that was the last ball of today's draw. Everything has been decided, and let us have a look on the groups together with Markus. He will comment all the groups, and we come back soon with the interviews.
So I think a very interesting situation with the draw. Of course, we managed to keep all those teams away from each other that are from the same federation. You can see the teams once again. Bietigheim, Esbjerg, Storhamar, and Magura Cisnadie form Group A. We have Sävehof from Sweden, Schiofok from Hungary, Metzingen, Germany, Herning from Denmark in Group B. Larvik, Besançon, Viborg, and Kuban in Group C. Podravka, Craiova as the defending champion will try to maybe repeat their success once again. Amera Bera from San Sebastian in Spain, and Nykøbing Falster Handball from Denmark. I think a very interesting composition in Group D. The first playing weekend is the first weekend in January, actually. It starts right away in 2019. As you know, the regulations define the pairings. So just as a teaser, we will start with the teams number 1 versus the teams number 3. So for example, Podravka will play Bera Bera in Group D. And the teams number 2 versus the teams number 4. So for example, I think very interesting, Schiofok versus Herning, Esbjerg versus Cisnadie. So the first European Cup game in the group phase for the newcomer of Cisnadie will be in Bietigheim, in Denmark, I'm sorry. And then in Group C, it would be Besançon versus Kuban. All those information will appear very soon on the European Handball Federation homepage. And in the meantime, I think we are ready for Vlado with his guests for the interviews.
Yes, that's true, and I think it's our obligation to start with the representative of the defending champions, SCM Craiova, and next to me is standing Petrișor Albu. So Petrișor, how do you like the group composition you just saw?
It's okay. We back to the Podravka because we play with Podravka in the qualification tournament to the Champions League, and we hope we go up.
No team has managed to defend the title in this competition since its reform 3 years ago. So how do you see this chance to go all the way to the final and to win the trophy again?
How I see last season, it's a chance for every team to go to the next level and win.
Thank you very much and good luck with that. We carry on, and now we move to Group B, and we have the representative of a very, very interesting and ambitious club from Hungary, Miklos Biter, just coming to my place as well. Welcome. So what is the first impression? Did you want to meet Larvik, by the way, in the group, your coach, former club?
Yes, of course, a little bit we wanted to meet with them because it would be a spicy game for us. For Túródvár and for our club too, but let's see. It's a very interesting group too. So I think it would be really great matches for us.
You put together a very formidable team. You managed to lure into your team many international stars. You had the former Larvik coach, Túródvár Moen. So what are your ambitions in this season, not only in the EHF Cup, but also in a very tough Hungarian league where you have two strong opponents?
Yeah, first of all, working with two Rodvar, it's a really great pleasure for us. He is like a grandfather for the team and for all of the workers at the club. So it's a very nice thing for us to work with Tour. After that, working with these national players, with these good quality players in our club, it's another thing which is really good for Siófok and for our really young club. And our goal for this season, first of all, to qualify from the group, and after that we can speak about the others.
Many thanks, Miklos. Good luck as well. And now we move on to another club who could be considered a dark horse of this competition. And it's from Norway, Storhamar. And Sten Morten Johansen is coming to join me here at this place. So Sten, what is your first impression of your first EHF Cup group right now?
Well, it's a pretty tough group, I think. I just been in contact with my head coach, and he says it's 3 top teams you have to meet to get up with, and all of them can actually win the whole tournament. So we'll do our best.
Well, you have at least one player who is very used to winning, not only on the club level, but also on the national team level. And although this is not only about one player, but the whole team, but it looks like that Heidi Löke is on fire after returning from the maternity leave. I think she scored around 36 goals in the qualification.
I haven't counted her goals, but Heidi is in top shape, and she always performs well in these tournaments. And she means a lot to the team. She has routine. She knows how to play the matches. Yeah, we need her, and she's in great shape.
Many thanks, and good luck.
Thank you.
And the last but not least for the interviews round will be Henrik Dahl from Viborg, one of the most decorated teams in the European club's history. So how does it look like with your ambition to add another trophy to your cabinet?
Oh, I think it's a pretty strong group, but hopefully we can manage to do our best. We have a difficult start on the season, but it's looked quite well right now.
Who do you see as the biggest favorites of the whole group phase and the whole tournament?
I think Siófok must take this, so we'll see. We will try to do our best if we going to meet them in the tournament. So hopefully we can go around them until the final. So we have to see.
That will be your desired final then, yeah, against Siófok. That will be your desired final.
That could be a very fine final, I think.
Okay. Many thanks, Henrik, and many thanks to all of you. The countdown to the group phase start is already ticking down, and the first matches will basically start already in 6 weeks' time. But before we move our attention to this, and before that to the Women's EHF Euro in France, we would like to invite you for 2 more draw events next week. Next Tuesday, the Men's Challenge Cup Last 16 draw, and next Thursday, the Men's EHF Cup Group Phase draw, both starting at 11 a.m. So that was the last information from us today. Many thanks for watching, and have a nice day.